Hey guys, Bruno again. So this video is going to be about my day 2 experience at hospital, and kind of a long day. Started at 6:30. My nurse came in, and I had just kind of woken up. I slept pretty well last night, and surprisingly didn't have to get up to go do anything, which was nice. So, anyways, he came in at 6:30. He did have to take some blood for some blood work, and oh, I did forget yesterday. I had my first steroid treatment yesterday. Um, so I did forget to mention that. So I had that yesterday. And then today he took some blood work because I guess they want to make sure that I'm not having any adverse reactions to the steroids because it's a pretty big dose. It's 1,000 milligrams every day for, well, what I was told today, for 5 days. So they're constantly monitoring me. I'm hooked up to this machine. I've got like this ET phone home button that checks my oxygen level. I've got a cuff, and I'm not going to pull down my shirt, but a bunch of little sensors for my heart rates and stuff. Uh, and then constantly on a IV, which is a little bit of a pain. Because every time I got to go somewhere, I got to unhook or drag this thing with me, so kind of a pain. But anyways, they're constantly monitoring me, make sure I don't have any side effects. And, fortunately, I've been feeling good. Nothing seems to be affecting me. So he did that. I think his shift was going to be over. So then after that, I just kind of waited. Didn't have a whole lot going on for a while. I was waiting for the neurologist to come see me for the first time. The neurologist here at the hospital. And you're just kind of waiting for anybody to come see me, really. I was talking to Julie, and she was going to come for a visit. And she ended up, coming. I guess it was probably around 9:30. And of course, I was getting hungry. And I was kind of waiting for somebody to come in to be like, do I get breakfast? Something. And I'm not one to be a pain, so I wasn't going to like call them for that. I just figured they'd come in, or somebody would knock on the door and bring my breakfast. But anyways, I kind of heard Julie out in the hallway talking, and it took her a little while to get in. But she finally gets in, has a mask on, and, like comes in with my breakfast, which apparently had been sitting on the table outside my door for like 45 minutes. So I didn't know this, but when I got into the room last night, I think I mentioned in the other video, because I had a TB test, they kind of have my room like secured. So like it's kind of blocked off, so people just can't randomly come in. There's another entrance that you have to like wash your hands before you come in, put on a mask. And so Julie's telling me all this, and I was like, they almost didn't let her in. I was like, well, I had no idea. They didn't tell me that. But anyway, she got in, brought my breakfast, so which was great. And, so I ate, and it was all right for hospital food. I forgot what it was, but it was like eggs and something else. But it was all right. She came, we kind of hung out. Didn't get a whole lot of activity in the morning, waiting for the neurologist to come in. The nurse would come in every now and then. We had a new nurse for the shift. She was really nice. And she would come in every now and then and just kind of ask about the neurologist. And she's like, oh, he's making the rounds. So we're like, all right. So it came to be around, I don't know, almost around lunchtime. And my sister was going to bring us some lunch. And so Julie went down to pick it up. And then the neurologist came in. So I called her back up because she wanted to be there. So he came in, we talked a little bit, and we talked about my symptoms and talked about what was going on and what it could be and this and that. And of course, he mentioned that big scary thing that was on the list that I read, the spinal tap. and that I needed to get a spinal tap. And I'm like, I don't know about you, but that just sounds scary. Like, you hear that band Spinal Tap, and it's just, I don't know, it's just something about, they need to change the term to make it a little bit more appealing, because Spinal Tap just sounds bad. Like, I joked around with the guy. I says, it kind of reminds me of, you know, like they're just gonna screw a tap in my spine, like I used to do when I was a kid on my grandparents' maple farm. Just screw the tap in the tree, and the sap comes out. They're gonna screw this tap in my spine, and my spinal fluid's gonna come out. It just didn't sound good, and I think I had nightmares of or reading where people would have them, and then their legs wouldn't work anymore, or they'd be paralyzed, and I was just like, the neurologist assured me none of that was going to happen. He's never had any issues. Although he did have me sign some paperwork that said, oh, you could have, you may need a blood transfusion if you overbleed, and I do not have a do not resuscitate form. I'm like, oh, that's great. You just told me how easy this is going to be, but I may bleed to death, and or die. So we kind of had a kick about that. But anyways, he assured me it was not a problem. They were going to put a anesthesia first, so I really shouldn't feel anything and whatever. I don't know how long the needle was. I didn't look. I didn't want to know. I was like, let's just get this over with. And so I was kind of like bent over a table, and he kind of cleaned me up, figured out, and I didn't realize how high. It was like probably a third of the way up my back that these needles went in. And so he cleaned them up, and I felt him prick me and with the anesthesia, and like I felt the needle go in. It wasn't that bad. He squeezed it in, and like I could feel him go deeper, squeeze some more, go deeper, squeeze some more, go deep. I'm like, whoa. But anyways, that came out, and then Kenny went in the real needle, and I really didn't feel it. I mean, I kind of felt something in there, but I did not really feel it. And he took 3 vials out of my spinal solution and pulled the needle out. Wasn't as bad. Wasn't as bad as I thought. So if you ever have to get a spinal tap, I guess it's not as scary as it sounds. I would still prefer a more pleasant name. Like, I don't know. Can't think of one right now, but something more pleasant than that. So anyways, that was done. He cleaned me up. I had to lay down in bed for at least 30 minutes, nice and flat. And, then we were going to be waiting on those results, and probably hear from him tomorrow about them, hopefully. Some of the results may take longer. Basically, the reason for the spinal tap is we're testing for any type of infection that may be going on that's undetected, but I guess it shows in the spinal fluid. Infection, some other type of disease, or obviously the big scary one, MS, and some other things. It might kind of shed light on something else that's going on, depending on what they find in those fluids. So I'm going to hear about that tomorrow, although some of the results don't come till after I'm gone, but hopefully we'll have enough information tomorrow to at least determine something. So that was pretty much it. I mean, that was the big scary day, spinal tap day. And the rest of the day was just kind of just hanging out. I really haven't done anything else. The nurse came in to, I did have my second dose of steroid treatment. And then the nurse has come in a few times to check my vitals, but that's pretty much it. It's kind of why I was like, let me make some videos, because I got a lot of time to kill. And I'm not much for watching TV. I'm hoping this little quarantine I'm under gets lifted, because I sure would like to go for a walk. I kind of disconnect and walk around the room and stretch and stuff like that, because just laying on the bed is just, gets a little uncomfortable. So anyways, that's day 2. So I'll make another one tomorrow afternoon once the day is pretty much over, and hopefully there's some interesting news. So again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again.